Right, Sunday, 12 p.m, Enzo Maresca's Chelsea take the trip to St James's Park in, let's be honest, what is now an absolute six-pointer. It is a head-to-head shootout between us and Newcastle for Champions League qualification. And here to preview the game with me is channel fan favourite, the big dog, the best looking man in Stamford Bridge. It is Joshua Aveste. Josh, what's happening?
I am ready to go. Can you look down the camera for me and can you just go like this? Can you go a shootout?
A shootout? Is it? No, you can't swear in the first. In the first however many seconds you get demonetised.
Who are you playing there in your acting performance?
Reggie or Ronnie Cray, one of the two, but Tom Hardy basically.
Yeah, well done. Very
there
well
you
acted. I was very close to Tom Hardy's house recently.
Were you?
Because I stayed in a hotel in Richmond and he lives on Richmond Hill.
Yeah, I met Tom Hardy at Hobbledown in Epsom.
Do you know who else met Tom Hardy recently?
Go on.
Robert Sanchez, because he was there before the game, the last Premier League game we had.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
My sister the other day went, do you know Tom Hardy's a Chelsea fan? And I went, I've heard he is, yeah. And she went, that would mean that he knows you. And I went, I don't think it would. And she was, do you think he watches Chelsea YouTube?
Yeah. Mainly only the
Do you know what?
podcast,
Do you know what? Do you know what?
to be
No,
honest.
do you know what? He probably, like 99% sure he wouldn't know me through like being a subscriber or watcher of the channel. But if he supports Chelsea, then he probably scrolls past my videos because his algorithm might suggest him Chelsea stuff. So say, for example, if he stops scrolling on a Chelsea video, maybe at some point, if he ever does scroll, then his algorithm stops him on a Chelsea thing. So he may have seen my face. I know he's seen my face anyway because I met him at Hobbledown. Nice bloke.
What did you say to him?
Nothing really. Oh, mate.
Did he say to you, Joey, I think you've got some potential in your acting career and I think you might have a future?
Do you know I might be in a show of some type? Have I told you this?
You have briefly mentioned it, but why don't you explain it?
No, I'm not going to now. We'll do that on Joey and Josh on the members only video that we're going to record today. Right, Let's quickly, because I didn't do a post-match review last night.
Why not?
I've got again. I'm going
You don't have to answer this question.
I'm going to reveal the reason for why not. I don't mind chatting about that on the members only Joey and Josh video. I don't mind chatting about it.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a reason why. It was because I was very tired.
Can we be honest? Are you worried about pronouncing the team name that we're playing against?
No, Real Betis.
The semi-final that we just played.
Oh, your garden.
Expertly done.
Let me just.
Do you have some
off.
Swedish connection?
I may have banged a Swede or two.
I bet you have. And not the vegetable.
Yeah. Oh, I've mashed a few Swedes.
I thought it was a fairly dull game, really, wasn't it?
He was good though, the 16-year-old.
Reggie.
Fuck me, Reggie.
Big Reggie.
Reggie Walsh.
Yeah.
He like.
I was
No,
not
I'm not
familiar
gonna say
with
what I
your
was gonna
game.
say, but he
Reggie
looks
Walsh.
like he might not have even hit the big P yet.
He's a young lad. He's 16 and 200 odd days, is what I've heard.
A legend,
Yeah.
Reece James is, by the way. When he went, did you see in the interview? He went,
did.
fucking hell, I didn't realise he was that good. Love
Reggie
Reece
must
James.
have fucking been loving that. He must have been soaking it up.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for him. Can you imagine being a 16-year-old Joey Knight, loving Chelsea as much as you did back then, and going and playing on Stamford Bridge?
Where can you see him playing next season?
The Chelsea Academy.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see him going out on loan and getting some game time.
Where?
I don't know why I'm going to say it. Swansea?
Yeah, okay. We've had a lot of Swansea graduates.
Table championships, mid to upper table championships side, potentially. I'm looking at them as next season.
Can I just make a very quick plea?
Yeah.
I've just mentioned there how happy Reggie was to play on the Stamford Bridge pitch. There is a game every year that happens with creators on the Stamford Bridge pitch after the season is finished.
Okay.
Now, I just want to make this plea to anyone that is watching right now. If they do know how to get involved in that tournament or could connect us into doing it,
We'll play.
I would absolutely love to play in that game.
I'll play, yeah.
Yeah.
Would play.
I think if I scored a goal on the Stamford Bridge pitch, I would cry.
If they gave me a penalty, I'd score it because I've never missed a pen. I've got 100% success.
There you go.
On a spot, cool, calm, collective.
Yeah. Anywhere else on the pitch, bit of an issue.
Might run into a little bit of trouble, but they give me a pen, I'll score it.
Any other highlights from this semi-final match?
I thought the goal was pretty beautiful. I thought tossing Adarabioyo to Tyreek George, nice and direct through the middle. And I think that recently we've been seeing, whether it be the A team or the B team like we saw last night, we've been seeing more direct football of recent, and that is something that we saw at the start of the season. It's something we've been crying out for since. A lot of people have been, rightly so, by the way, venting their frustration at Enzo Maresca's sort of side-to-side passing tactics, and I think that recently we are being a bit more direct, and I think that directly correlates in results going our way as of recent.
Would you still sell Dewsbury Hall in the summer?
It depends what he feels like. Do you know what I mean? Like, if he's happy to be a rotation player, then no. But because I do think that we're going to get Champions League football, then I'd probably sell him because of the fact that he is not going to... This season, right, quite a few of them have had a little bit of a luxury, in my opinion. I'm just readjusting the camera midway through because I'm an absolute daddy like that. I think that quite a lot of them this season have been lucky with the Conference League. Would have been even luckier if we hadn't have been put out the cups, at pretty much the first hurdle. But not so much the likes of Tyreek George, but the kid last night's not getting minutes. Dewsbury Hall is probably not getting many minutes, you know what I mean? He might get a hospital minutes off the bench or whatever if we're 3-0 up. But I think he's of an age where he can still be ambitious enough to go and play for someone. And I think that Dewsbury Hall could potentially go and tear it up at a Brentford, at a Brighton, at somewhere like that. And I think that when you look at salary-wise, you might have to take a small cut, but they could still afford him.
He's not on loads of money. I'd like to see him continue in the squad. I think
he's
enough minutes
getting
to go
better.
around. I think there's enough minutes to go around. And bearing in mind, you've got young players coming through that you don't know how they're going to perform in the Premier League. When Dewsbury Hall plays, you know what you're getting. No,
you're wrong. You're wrong. There's not enough minutes to go around, mate. Because you're looking at the pie as it is at the moment, but you're not looking at the pie once it's cooked.
I haven't seen the pie play since he played for Man United, to be honest.
No.
There
you go.
I think. Fair enough. Will Reece James, take his role in midfield?
Will Reece James be in midfield?
Probably not.
Will Andre Santos come back from Strasbourg?
Yes.
We've also signed Asugu. Do you know what I mean?
Don't know how good he is. Don't know if he can do it in the Premier League.
But then couldn't we say the same about Dewsbury Hall?
No, I think Dewsbury Hall was more of a guarantee.
Okay, fair enough.
To be fair.
Enough.
I'd keep hold of him probably for one more season.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I feel like his value, I wouldn't say his value gone down. I think we should be able to get the money back for Dewsbury Hall.
If it's gone down by 5 mil. 30 mil. 30 mil, I think it's fair.
Do you?
You'd take it, wouldn't you?
No, I wouldn't. I don't think we should be selling him for any less than we paid for him. I think he deserves that. To be fair.
And I think he's been good in the Conference League. I think he's a good player.
He is a good player. I think actually he's actually a bit of an underrated player. Yeah. I'm not saying he's a world beater, but he's solid.
By the way, at the end of the video, we're going to speak about underrated players because even though I don't play it anymore, I haven't played it since it was like FIFA 20 or something like that. There was always like the FIFA EA Team of the Season brought out. Yeah. And at the end of this video, I want to have a serious chat about their Team of the Season because
have they released it?
They've released it, my friend.
How many of those cards do you have in your team?
I don't play FIFA, but all I'll tell you is one Chelsea player made Team of the Season.
Well, it's obvious who it is.
Who is it?
Caicedo.
Let's get back to it at the end of the video.
Oh!
As for now, just quickly before we move on to the Newcastle game, I just want to say one thing. Your garden, lost all respect for you lot. I had a lot of respect for you when we went to your gaff and the atmosphere was unreal. And do you know what we did? What did we do?
We were very respectful.
Very respectful. Took off our shoes when we entered the house.
Yeah. Cleaned up afterwards.
Cleaned up on your AstroTurf pitch.
Yeah.
Came over, gave you a little 4-1 spanking, we all went home safely and had a good time. And they, yesterday, got into various stands. They got into the West Stand lower. They got into the West Stand upper. I think a few of them might have got into the Shed upper. Listen, they're lucky they didn't get into the Matthew Harding lower because they got smashed up. But even I've seen multiple videos of separate incidents where the Chelsea fans are fighting with them and whatnot, and it's just like, one, you're a bunch of knobheads for doing that. Two, we need to take some responsibility for that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, mate, we can reveal it now. What was I texting you a couple of weeks ago?
You were saying that there were people in your area of the stadium. And
can you confirm there were? Did you see video evidence?
I saw lots of videos. To be fair.
From me, I was texting you over videos,
exactly.
and I was going, look.
Yeah.
I was going, look. I
saw other videos. To be fair, not just from you.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But like, and this is the thing. Obviously, I'm like, oh, fuck it. What did I end up doing with them?
You just said, "What the fuck is this?" And you made friends with them.
made friends with them, and ended up having a drink and that. But listen, better to make friends than enemies. You know what I mean? But like, where I was in the hospitality seats. Luckily enough to be put up by Jet Set Hospitality. Shout out for that game. I was in the hospitality seats. Yeah, that's fucking families, tourists, whatever. You don't get the rough and ready bunch really in there, right? So the Legia Warsaw fans that have come in there from half time, that have got their way into there, and they've all come down. I'm with Tom and Alf, and straight away, beeline straight for me, right? And I'm not saying it like I'm trying to say I want to look hard or anything, but I'm just saying like, if there's anyone there looking round when there's kids, blokes in suits, things like that, if there's anyone there that they're thinking, oh, might be a bit up for a fight or something, they're probably looking at us three and they're thinking, oh, these lot are young and whatever. And I was dressed like fucking, I'm wearing the old.
Did you have your
trench
on?
I had the trench coat on, didn't I? You know what I mean? All the old football looking gear. But no, like, they've like made a beeline straight for me. But I just killed these situations with a bit of banter, you know what I mean, and whatever.
Didn't seem like that was going on last night, though.
It didn't seem like that at all. No. That's what I'm saying. So last time out, that was a situation that was very easily resolved because it was like the Warsaw fans come in, I'm fucking talking to them, having a laugh with them, and I was sending you over. At first, I'm sending you videos going, look, they're all in the thing, and at the end, I'm sending you over videos of me and them having a drink and having a laugh, right? So it was fine. But last night, it got even further, and what I'm saying is the warning signs were there, and I'm not digging out the club, but at the same time, we've got to do better. Got to do better.
I think this is a bit of an issue for the club, to be honest, because I think this goes on in every Premier League game as well. I think we really do need to crack down on that. I think there's a lot of especially like games like the Man United games, Liverpool games. I'm in the East Upper. I see it even in the East Upper with season ticket holders that have been there 30 years. Do you know what I mean? So it's an issue that they definitely need to get a hold of.
Do you know what it is, though, mate? Do you know what it is? Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I went, what was it? The season we drew 1-1 with Nottingham Forest, yeah? I went to that game, was desperate for a ticket, couldn't get one.
Yeah.
Couldn't get one. What did I do?
Yeah, you go in the home end, but
I went in the home end. But what did I do?
There's etiquette to it, isn't there?
I had
celebrate when Forest win.
Sterling scored. I didn't celebrate.
No.
I didn't celebrate. I mean, there weren't much to celebrate. We were having a shit season under Graham Potter, and then we ended up 1-1. But I didn't celebrate. Kept my head down, sort of thing. Once or twice, a few people were like, "You got a podcast, isn't it?" and whatever. And I was like, "Hello, mate. How you doing?" Whatever. But just acted maturely. Like, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? And that was 2 years ago, and I was just starting out. Maybe now I wouldn't do that. Probably more than likely now I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is the way they behaved is just like, fuck off. Do you know what I mean? Because really and truly, right? If you got into the Matthew Harding lower, you'd have got fucking turned over. Yeah. And I see a few of them getting turned over anyway. And that's not me giving it them days are gone, mate. They're gone. It ain't when your old man and my old man were younger and they go to the football and whatever and that sort of stuff used to happen, then it was a regular thing now. But them days are gone. They've gone in. They've took over what is predominantly a family stand. Yeah. When my little girl's older, I might want to take her to a game or something or whatever, and it's just like, I just think there's no time for it. I just think it's fucking stupid. But it's their cup final. It is what it is. Maybe you'll disagree with me on it. But from what I saw, things turned nasty. And what I'm saying is things could have turned a lot nastier. So as much as you can blame them because it's them that's done it, I also think that in retrospect, you can look at what it happened in the Legia Warsaw game. There's no coincidence that for the Legia Warsaw game, what did you see on the Fulham Road for the first time in fucking God knows how many years?
Police horses.
Yeah. So you clearly knew. Yeah. And you didn't take enough action to stop it. So I think that we need to hold ourselves a little bit accountable for that anyway. Anyway, let's move on to Newcastle, who I'm way more interested in than your Garden or Legia Warsaw or Real Betis. Okay. Right?
Yeah.
So let's move on to Newcastle. How you feeling, firstly? Gut feeling?
I am still nervous about this game. And I don't have the best feeling, even with our current run. Because I feel like
because
Newcastle...
it's St James's Park?
It's because it's at St James's Park. It's early, as we know, 12 o'clock. I mean, the fact that we've gone from a Thursday night kickoff to the first kickoff on a Sunday is just wrong.
Silly.
And also, I do feel that they're kind of a kryptonite for us in terms of the way they play.
I feel like they are at St James's Park.
Yeah.
And I feel like the battle against Newcastle has never really been in attack or defence, vice versa, depending on what team, right? I feel like the battle has always been won in the middle of the park. Would you over recent years, I mean, under the Bowley ownership and whatnot, would you agree with that?
Yeah, but also their midfield is probably their strongest area other than Isak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I feel like that battle's always been won in the middle of the park. Do I feel more confident now that we enter battle with the likes of Romeo Lavia? Definitely.
Yeah, of course. That midfield three that we have now can go up against anyone and be successful. They can. They're that good. So yeah, like mate, obviously there's some silver linings here. We've got a lot better run of form recently than Newcastle have. They're on the slide, we're on the way up.
You say that?
Yeah, come on.
You say that?
Come.
Mate, like that's how it feels.
Yeah.
There's atmosphere and feeling and vibes, and then there's the truth. And the truth is, we're not really on a better run of form than Newcastle. Because if you look, right, in the so they win the cup final. 7 games since the cup final. I'm sort of thinking, I actually thought the opposite. And this is what I often think about things. You know, this is why... Well, actually, I predicted it because I just do think that PSG are a better side. But this is why I predicted Arsenal to go out to PSG, because Arsenal beating Real Madrid twice was their version of winning the Champions League. You know, we win it when we lift the trophy, but them beating Real Madrid,
they're celebrating getting to a semi-final like they've just won 3 league titles.
I think the fair thing to do for Arsenal is you'll put the winner on it, which in my opinion is going to be PSG, but then you'll put / Arsenal for vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
VYBZ.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I predicted them to go out to PSG because I think that sometimes when you have let's like treat it with respect, a historic moment. That is a historic moment for Arsenal Football Club.
I mean, they've not had many of those in their time, have they?
There you go. So when you have that, I often think there can be a deflation after. There can be a come down after. And after Newcastle won that cup, I thought, right, you've been playing really good football, exciting football, scoring goals, looking great. Will there now be a bit of a deflation period? But in the 7 games since that cup final, they've had 5 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, right? 19 goals in those 7 games. Whereas Chelsea, in the last 7, have had 4 wins, 2 draws and a loss. And in our last 7, we've only scored 9 goals. So Newcastle have scored 10 more goals than us. So although it does feel like the momentum is with us, Newcastle's overall form of recent is better.
I've looked at the last 5, Joey. Sack the 7 games off. In the last 5, we've got 1 more point than them.
But just quickly, before we get into all that, steak, mate, are back. And this week, our friend Emmanuel has won over £1,000 from a tenfold ACCA with just a £10 stake. And if you want to win money just like Emmanuel, download StakeMate today. And believe me, this is not your run-of-the-mill betting app. In fact, it's more like if Bet365 and Snapchat had a baby. And we are all chatting, bantering and betting in the Joey Night podcast chat. Also, remember, new customers get 20 quid in free bets when you bet just your first tenner. And StakeMate are offering even more bonuses as you play. So all you need to do is hit the link in the description below to download StakeMate. However, you do need to remember that you must be 18 years old or over. You must be living inside the UK, and most importantly, we all need to remember to gamble responsibly. Thanks very much to StakeMate for sponsoring another video. Let's get back into it.
It's all a matter of perspective, isn't it? To be honest with you, like the form guide, you could go back and do the whole season. Like let's be honest, mate. The fact of the matter is they're above us in the league, just, you know, and so really they should be going into this game looking at themselves as favourites, and at home you can't really begrudge that. Favourites.
Yep.
So you can't really begrudge them for that.
Especially if you look at the form at St James's Park. Obviously, like, we know results haven't gone our way, but it hasn't just been results. Sometimes a result don't go your way and you don't feel that bad about it. Let's say, for example, right, when we lost at Anfield this season, I didn't feel awful. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't feel awful about it. It's actually a little, people are going to go mad at me now, a little bit of a credit to Maresca. There ain't too many losses that I did feel awful about. Like, I know they're relegated, but even the Ipswich loss away, I didn't feel awful about it.
No, I felt awful about that.
Maybe, yeah, but
come on, you should as well.
Shouldn't be losing to Ipswich, but I didn't feel awful. Do you know what I mean? It didn't feel like a rock bottom moment. Whereas two of the most sort of rock bottom moments I've felt, and there has been others, obviously the loss to Arsenal that we won't speak about last season, but two of those sort of rock bottom moments have come at St James's Park.
Yeah.
One of them was this season in the League Cup when they dumped us out 2-0 and completely dominated us, and we didn't, we went out of a whimper.
Do you care about the League Cup?
I do, yeah, because I was at Cardiff, and
fair enough.
I just that's one of the first. Was it the first trophy I was live to see us lift?
Was that Capital One or was that Carling?
Carling. 'Cause you make me feel, yeah, you
banger.
make me feel
absolutely banger.
Right.
Cardiff,
remember when that was the theme tune, by the way? I'm not just singing it for no reason.
I do. Can I just say, Cardiff, I didn't enjoy going there. Not for the place, but
I did. Went there twice. Won twice.
I know, but it's not Wembley.
What was the second game we went to there?
Was it an FA Cup final?
No, Community Shield. Drogba.
Straight after that.
More or less straight
really?
after, yeah. That next season, yeah. I went up there on the train. My dad let me go with my older cousin, and it was 2005 by this point. It would have been August. It would have been around my 12th birthday. And we got smashed, like I was out on the piss all day. Loved it. It was fucking quality.
Jesus Christ.
I know. Yeah,
can you imagine any other 12-year-olds doing that?
In a top.
You are insane.
In a Chelsea
I don't know how
kit
you
that had
did
the
it.
Johnson on the back, and I'm just on the train.
I bet you still look like you were you look older than you were back then, but I still reckon you look 13 or 14. How you were getting beers, I have no idea.
Yeah, well.
Did you have a fake ID?
Just cans.
Okay,
no,
just got them from a
just
shop.
Cans. I weren't drinking on the ground, just smashing the train up there and that. But yeah, obviously the 4-1 was a rock bottom moment as well when Reece James got sent off last season. We lost there 1-0 under Graham Potter. I can't really even remember that match, can you? No.
I try and forget all of the Graham Potter's tenure, to be honest with you, other than the Champions League.
Can I ask you something, yeah? Because you thought that the pot dog was going to be quite good in his next job.
Yeah.
He ain't been great at West Ham.
Bit of a basket case, West Ham, isn't it?
I predicted them. By the way, can't wait for the end of the season when me and you will sit and do
the review of the predictions.
The review of our predictions.
I know.
Because, fuck me, there's some bad ones in there.
Have you got some bad ones? Did we do a video on it? Because I'm going to have to refresh my memory.
I think I might have done a video on my own.
I don't know if I actually did any predictions.
Yeah, I might have cheated on you with my own bedroom.
Yeah, which you often do.
There you go.
You need to stop doing
After this, Newcastle play Arsenal and Everton.
Yeah.
After this, Chelsea play Man United and Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Straight yes or no answer. And this is obviously contextualising it by saying there's no draw, right? There's no draw in this game. Does the winner of this match definitely get Champions League football?
Yes, because both teams will get 6 points after this game, I think. Actually, no, including this game. You know, of recent, I've been a bit of a Nostradamus. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that Newcastle beat Arsenal.
Really?
Yeah.
And what are you basing that on?
I think they're a little bit of a bogey team for Arsenal.
Where is it?
I
think it might be at the Emirates.
Yeah, I still think they could do it.
Really?
Yeah.
So
I have
that's
not ruled out the possibility of Arsenal finishing third. How long ago did I say that?
You did say that a long time ago.
When it was like not even on the cards, yeah, City was still fucking dropping points left, right, and centre. Newcastle were just about creeping now into these spots. It was a while ago. It was on the kickoff. People can go back and look. And I said, and Jacob laughed with me, and he said, "Would you be willing to put money on it?" And I was like,
you said, "Yeah."
I'm not that confident,
Yeah, but you said eventually.
I was like, "Yeah, I do think whatever." Yeah. And he said it might not still happen, but I'm not ruling out the possibility Arsenal finish first.
But let's be fair. If Arsenal are going to drop below anyone, they probably. They're going to get 3 points, aren't they? Because the last game of the season. So that means that, say for example, we want to finish above Arsenal. We've got to get 9 points.
Yeah.
We've got to win all of our games. But let's be fair. Liverpool, I think, do beat Arsenal. Newcastle, I think it actually depends on this result against Chelsea. If Newcastle lose this game, I think there's then more likelihood that they beat Arsenal because I feel that they'll need to.
That's what I feel like.
So that's the way you're going.
But I'm going to get to when we do score predictions in a minute.
Yeah.
After we reveal the team sheet, I'm going to get to what I actually think happens. And
in the entire league.
I mean, I won't go down to last game of the season, but I'll go for the next two fixtures.
Okay, cool.
What I think happens. What I think happens to Newcastle in the next two fixtures.
Fine.
Before that. As you can see on screen now, this is the team sheet. And let's be honest, I don't think there's any surprises here. It is Robert Sanchez in goal. It's Caicedo inverting from right back. Trevor Chalobah and Levi Colwill will need to once again lift themselves and have the game of their lives as they did against Liverpool, because Isaac and the rest of the boys will give them a lot of trouble. But here to help them with that trouble, when he's not helping out in midfield, is Cucurella. Now, we have got Romeo Lavia and Enzo Fernandez in the middle. I think that Romeo Lavia will sit a little bit deeper and basically be the Chelsea Busquets, Rodri, whatever you want to call him.
All of them put together.
Add a little bit more. I know a lot of people would argue that he's obviously achieved more already and he's a far greater, superior player to both of those that I've just named. But, for fairness, I want to sort of be fair. I don't want to come off cross as bias. This is a fan channel. Pedro Neto on the right wing, very important for us. I think he gives us that extra protection, extra legs, and I think that he is working like an absolute workhorse in this final stage of the season specifically, and it's really coming to light not just what he can do from an offensive perspective, but also from what he can do in helping out and being able to give Caicedo the freedom to invert there and do his job. Cole Palmer in the 10, Noni Madueke on the left wing, which isn't a position that always suited him, but I think of recent has been very, very well. And Nicholas Jackson through the middle. Now, obviously, Josh, we've agreed on that lineup. Is there anyone that you would really look at and say, oh, they could be in there?
Reece.
Yeah.
Arguably.
But it's hard, isn't it, mate?
I just don't know where he fits in because you need all three of those midfielders, don't you?
You need them. And then you're going, well, whose role does Reece take, right? So then we've got to... So we're ruling out three midfielders, right?
Yeah.
Fair? Okay. Trevor Chalobah is stepping up to be... he always has, by the way, but is stepping up to be the captain. Whether he's wearing the armband or not, he's the captain.
Arguably the best defender.
Yeah.
Arguably.
And at the moment, he's the captain on that pitch, in my opinion. On the last few games, what I'm seeing from him, what I've always believed from him anyway, but for me, he's the captain on that pitch, right? He's stepping up big time. Trevor Chalobah will play a huge part in whether we get Champions League football or not. Instrumental part.
Do you know what's so funny is Newcastle wanted him.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
And they've got a good eye for talent. When was the last time they bought one that didn't turn out to be quite good?
Mainly from Chelsea.
Exactly. But I mean, even like, Newcastle bought Harvey Barnes at first. It was like, there you go.
Brighton
broke the spell.
Yeah.
He's not that good. Actually, he's starting to play a little bit
I think
better.
he looked great.
Speaking of players that are playing a little bit better.
Go on. Who are you going to say?
No, we're not going to talk about him.
Who are you going to say?
Just some fella from Portsmouth.
To be fair, he was always going to come good there eventually. He
ain't come good yet. He scored a couple of goals.
No, but as in, he's going to be starting for Man United. We're talking about Mason Mount. He just doesn't want to admit it. We're not that bitter. We're not that bitter as Liverpool fans are with Trent, to be fair, are we? They fucking hate Trent.
Yeah, I don't think we're as bitter.
They hate Trent. I wonder what the reaction is going to be when he next plays at home. Trent. Because he's still got games for Liverpool. If I was Slot, I'd be playing Bradley for the rest of the season.
I think Bradley's a good little player.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do score predictions then?
Yeah, but I was just going to say,
okay,
in terms of Trevor Chalobah, that importance, we were talking about who Reece James would be swapped out for. Yeah. So we ruled him out.
I don't think you can do centre-back.
We ruled him out of centre back.
Yeah.
You can't swap him. You can't swap him for Cucurella.
No way.
I know he tried it. Maresca tried him at left back against Man United at Old Trafford earlier on this season. Didn't work.
No.
And then when you look, like I've always said, Reece James could play anywhere. So let's say, for example, no, being deadly serious, mate. Being deadly serious, right?
Yeah.
Let's say we had never signed Pedro Neto, or Pedro Neto was unavailable, let's say, right?
Yeah.
And let's say we have Malo Gusto at right back. Would I potentially, just to get him on the pitch, potentially look at right wing for Reece James?
Why not?
Yeah.
100%. Can I just say, I reckon he'd be great up front.
Mate, right wing, centre attacking midfield, I think he could play anywhere.
Centre forwards, I think he could be great.
I think he could play anywhere.
Hold on to the ball, distribute it to other people, win headers in the box.
But
I think he'd be great. But
we've established that it's of vital importance to get that midfield free, the trio of Caicedo, Romeo Lavia and Enzo Fernandez on the pitch. One of them needs to invert, and that's obviously Caicedo. And therefore, what you need is someone with legs for days in front of them, which is Pedro Neto.
Yeah.
So then you can't replace Pedro Neto.
No.
And then you're just going crazy talk if you're thinking,
Jackson.
like Reece left wing or Jackson or whatever.
Yeah.
Like in a crisis maybe, but that's just the state of affairs that we're in at the moment. And it's a problem that I never thought we'd have. It's a problem that I kind of half embrace because I'm like, well, it's a problem that's come from a good place, so I'm not that bothered in a way. But obviously, yes, I would love to see Reece James in there. But
I think the biggest problem right now is playing 3 right backs in a B team.
Yeah,
like that's the biggest problem we've got right now. The starting 11 is too good to break up.
Big bad Josh Changponga's mustard though, doesn't he?
Looks so good.
He's fucking great.
He looks fucking brilliant. That's good. That's a really good problem to have. This is why we actually got a lot of abuse actually for saying that we should sell Gusto.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't say we should sell him. I said I could see him going to Liverpool next season.
I could see him being sold.
Yeah.
Not that we'd prefer him to be sold.
Before I get onto this little team of the season thing, and I'm glad you haven't seen it because this would be good for you.
I haven't.
Can we get a score prediction, mate? Can we do it on 3? We've not spoke about this. Tell them. Have we spoke about the score prediction?
No, we haven't spoken about it.
No. Let's do it. You ready to do it on 3?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1,
1 Chelsea.
Are you going 2-1?
To be fair, actually, can I be completely honest?
How are you the more optimistic one than me?
Can I be honest? I thought that Joey was going to say 2-1. I actually do think 1-0.
I think 1-0.
So there you go.
I think score draw.
I wanted to second guess what you would say.
And can I ask you now, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we want a win.
Yeah.
And I'm not. Then once I'm watching the game, I'll believe Chelsea are winning. Do you know what I mean? But 1-1, a draw, a point is not the worst result.
It's not the worst result, but if you do win this game, you have effectively killed off Champions League, haven't you?
Yeah.
Like, if you win this game, Man United should be an easy victory. Like, regardless of what happens. I know they're Man United, but they're on the beach.
And they got one eye on the final.
They're on the beach.
Yeah.
And they won't be playing their starting 11 anyway, regardless of the result. And then Forest, I mean, if you go into the Forest game having won these 2 games and you only need a draw, then that becomes a lot less stressful. What was the game?
Do you know what
season?
tally I think gets us over the line? By the way, now?
Yeah, number. Yeah, go on. Because we're on 63 points now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 5 points gets us over the line.
I think it does too.
So I think
because effectively you're taking points off other people.
Yeah, so I think we could draw against Newcastle.
Yeah.
I think we could beat Man United and draw against Forest.
Yeah. As long as the draws are against those teams.
So
Because if you draw against Man United, you're in trouble.
Of course, yeah. So the reason I now say about Newcastle beating Arsenal is because I think they'll drop points to us. So I think they'll draw against us. They'll beat Arsenal. Yeah. I think on the same match day we beat Man United, and then I think
they win against Everton.
They probably beat Everton.
Yeah,
and I think that we either beat or draw at worst to Nottingham Forest.
So you think they're going to get 69 points?
I think it's going to stay as it is pretty much.
So you think they're going to get 69? Do you think they're big fans of that up there? Do you think that Chelsea get 9 points? Then no. Is what you say. You're saying draw in Forest in the last game of the season. You think 7 points?
I think either 7 or 5.
Okay.
If I had to put money on it, fuck it, I'll go 7.
How many points are Arsenal going to get?
Don't care. Don't matter.
Well, if they do lose their next 2 games and they beat Southampton, we would be equal on points on them, but they have a significantly higher goal difference. We're talking 12 goals. So that, yeah.
But we've got a significantly higher European Cup difference.
What I'm saying though is, if we do win all of these next 3 games, I think it's relatively likely that we could go above Arsenal.
Imagine we finish second. That'd be fucking mental, wouldn't it?
I don't know if we'll finish second because I think the City will be up there, but it would be mad if we do finish above them, and that would unequivocally say that we've had a better season than Arsenal because we're going to win the Conference League.
Well, we have had a better season than them because we're going to finish in Champions League spots the same as them. We would have won a trophy.
And we'll have a trophy.
So,
which they are allergic to.
Yeah. Better season.
But quickly, before we move off Arsenal, very quickly, yes or no, would you sack Arteta if you're an Arsenal fan?
Now I probably would, yeah.
I would.
Yeah. I mean, I know he's gone to Brazil or whatever.
Carlo.
And I'd hate it, but like Carlo Ancelotti goes into Arsenal and wins stuff. I'm not saying he definitely wins the league. I'm not saying, but he goes in there and wins trophies.
Yeah.
So, and Mikel Arteta, all right, yeah, he won one, but he won one with Emery's team, and since he's formed his own team, he ain't won nothing.
Can we have an Oracle last-minute prediction very quickly?
Yeah.
Of your top 5 in order.
Top 5 in order. I will go with.
Start from number 1.
Obviously, Liverpool. Yeah. What are Arsenal's 3 remaining fixtures?
Liverpool, Newcastle, and Southampton.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
All right. I'll go top 5. I'll go Liverpool. I'll go Manchester City.
Yeah.
I'll go with Arsenal, Chelsea, Newcastle.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards that, but I'm going to swap Newcastle and Chelsea.
You think Chelsea 5th?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't care if it was.
Yeah.
But I think we'll finish very close on points, like same points. Maybe they get it on goal difference, something like that.
The goal difference is equal right now, so that's going to be very exciting.
Well, it's not equal. It's equal, but goals for they've got 4 more goals than us. Newcastle.
Yeah, what a disgrace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we need to bag about 8 goals versus Man United.
Right. I want to just speak to you about EA Team of the Season, right?
Can you do the voice of EA Sports?
EA Sports, it's in the game.
EA Sports, it's in the game.
That is, if I close my eyes.
He's welcome on the podcast anytime.
So there's one Chelsea player in. It's not an 11, by the way. It's a squad. So I think it's a 22. I think it's
That's a disgrace.
I think it's a 22.
Yeah.
I think it's 2 for
Cole
every
Palmer hasn't
position
made it.
and whatever. So you don't know.
I don't know anything.
You don't know anything about this. One Chelsea
When was this
player,
released?
the other day. One Chelsea player has made it in to this EA Sports
I'm going to stick
squad
with
of the
my
season.
original one.
You're saying?
Caicedo.
Caicedo's not made it in.
Honestly, I'm quite glad that I haven't bought FIFA in years because they're fucking clueless. That's a joke.
Listen, this is the Premier League team of the season.
I don't even want to know who the Chelsea player
Declan
is
Rice.
over him.
Declan Rice,
Yeah.
McAllister,
Yeah.
and Gravenberch, all in there ahead
Disgrace.
of Caicedo.
Disgrace.
I am telling you now,
Disgrace.
Declan Rice has not played better game in, game out this season than Caicedo. McAllister has not played better game in, game out than Caicedo, and neither has fucking Gravenberch. You just all think Gravenberch is the bollocks because he wasn't good last season and now he's good this season. He's brilliant. He's brilliant, but he's not Caicedo level. Caicedo has been the best central defensive midfielder in the Premier League this season without any shadow of a doubt. And you'll go, oh, well, league positions. Well, look at the rest of the fucking team of the season. You got players in there that might not finish in the top half of the table. It's mental.
Who's the other team? What's the rest of the team?
By the way, no, I won't read you the whole thing because I haven't got it up right now.
Okay.
By the way, so now you know it's not Caicedo. Who's the Chelsea player that made it in there?
Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer's made it in there. Yeah? I kind of feel like Caicedo's definitely more deserved than Cole Palmer, and that's no, offence against Cole Palmer. There's no slight on Cole Palmer. I'd be furious if he hadn't made it in there. Do you know what I mean? They should both be in there. But I kind of feel like Caicedo ahead of him. And do you know what, right? They've got 3 left-backs in the team, right? They've got 3 left-backs, so you should have just freed up space.
Robertson?
Right, so...
Yeah.
Let's go with me, right?
Aina.
Let's not be no. It's right back in here.
Yeah.
Let's not be biased, right? Robinson over Cucurella. I get it. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's probably a toss-up. But
It's a toss-up.
But Cucurella is better.
But you'd rather.
Cucurella's better.
I'd rather have Cucurella.
Yeah.
But I get it.
I get
I'm
it.
not going to throw my toys out the pram.
Right.
Josh.
Who are the other 2? I can't even think of another.
Kirkes?
He's done nothing. He's not done a lot.
No, wait.
Okay.
Honestly, mate. Lewis Skelly. Over
Who's
Cucurella.
picked this team? Fucking Lee Judges.
Oh,
Who's
my
picked this team?
God.
How many Arsenal players are in there?
I don't know.
Complete specialist in failure. If Arsene Wenger is a specialist in failure, then Mikel Arteta is right up there.
It's ingrained.
This is a disgrace. Can I just say, I've never thought of a better reason to buy Pez than that thing right there.
There you go.
I've always been a London Blues fan. What are we called? Blue Lions. No, I think we're called London Blue.
London Blue Sox.
Yeah.
That's why Tom Bowley refers to
I'm
us
never
as.
buying FIFA again. After
By
that.
the way, did you see the clip of Egg Barley and Craig David?
No.
Egg Barley was at the Chelsea end of season awards and Craig David's performing, and Egg Barley just does not look like he's enjoying it. And I thought, you know what? You, sir, do not deserve this moment, because when Craig David performs, you fucking whack out some dance moves and sing along.
Can you sing 3 lines of your favourite Craig David song for the audience?
So here I am, writing you a love song, holding back those years. It's been so long. Rendezvous where to my potato. You could do anything you wanna do.
Is he a Chelsea fan?
Tonight. No, it'd be Southampton, wouldn't he?
Why have we got Craig David performing then?
Fuck knows. Anyway, people, in a bit.